Other things that I saw that I'm pretty interested in, CORZ. I know Godfather's been all over this, but I like it. I'm going to give it an additional endorsement. From the way I look at things, I think he's probably looking mostly at valuation. I see a 4-pillar play here. I'm assuming he's right on the valuation. Now we have the technicals over the 200 DMA, which, while trying to break the 200 DMA at 1181, but we also have sentiment, a sympathy move with APLD here, APLD sympathy, all right, up in sympathy with APLD. Let's go back to that, sorry. So we got the sentiment, which is that sympathy move. We have the technical break. We have the valuation. Do we have a catalyst? Did we have a catalyst on cores, right, last couple of days? Well, we have the options that the Godfather found, really bullish options float just yesterday. So I like it. That's enough pillars. There's like at least 3 or 4 pillars here on Core Z. So I added CORZ this morning. All right, so I like that one, CORZ. It says Canadian 33 cents versus 19 cents last year. All right, that's another figure to look at. So 33 minus 19 divided by 19. Wow, so it's up 73% year over year. Trailing PE pretty low. I mean, no matter how you cut it, this is a easy buy here, meaning this thing's worth at least the 200 DMA. We're going above the 200 DMA. That's why I was buying below $10 and at $10 here at 200 DMA at 991. All right, but above that, it gets a little hard to predict because of the lack of guidance and because those numbers are on the lower end, those EPS numbers, so you can't just take 40%. So let me see what I could do here. Let me go to the weekly. I'd say right here is a decent area we can get to. All right, I'm gonna say 1175 or so. I see that resistance on the weekly. Is that right up here? Yeah. This area, 1180. Let me see what that would represent, by the way. 1180 minus roughly 9 divided by 9. About 31%. Wow, you're actually getting close to the magnitude of the beat. I might say that's possible. We could do it. We can maybe get that magnitude of the beat there and get about 1180. So Goose is going to be a top pick of the day. I was looking at TSSI earnings. So before the earnings report, I write down the analyst estimates for the quarter, for next quarter, for full year. TSSI didn't have analyst estimates, so I just went back and I had the press release pulled up of what they did last quarter. And then I'm able to actually make a decision on, how the stock is going to react before even the algos pick it up, right? Because I'm super fast. I got the Pro, I got the Benzinga Pro newsfeed over there, and I just look at the numbers, and within seconds, I was able to say TSSI is a blowout, and I was buying live on Discord at $9.50. All right, $9.50. My initial target was $11.50, but as things were progressing, I kept increasing my target. Ultimately, I had a target of $13 for last night, and it exceeded 13 early this morning, went to 15. I won't tell you what to do now. All of that is inside our daily note in the PDF that was sent early this morning, around 6:30 a.m. this morning. I'm very bullish on right now. Look at this reversal overnight at 288, which is right at that 50 DMA. Man, I wish I could have bought like call options overnight or something like that. Well, you could have done it if you have futures account. But in any case, I was starting to think about gold yesterday. I should have gotten it yesterday. Already up 0.5% this morning because we're getting close to that line. Yeah, I shouldn't have been so greedy to say let's touch the line. So I think it's a worthwhile bet over here. I like the risk reward trying gold out here. I just wish I could have gotten it in the middle of the night. All right. Other things that I saw that I'm pretty interested in, CORZ. I know Godfather's been all over this, but I like it. I'm going to give it an additional endorsement. From the way I look at things, I think he's probably looking mostly at valuation. I see a 4-pillar play here. I'm assuming he's right on the valuation. Now we have the technicals over the 200 DMA, which while trying to break the 200 DMA at 1181, but we also have sentiment, a sympathy move with APLD here, APLD sympathy, all right, up in sympathy with APLD. Let's go back to that. Sorry. So we got the sentiment, which is that sympathy move. We have the technical break. We have the valuation. Do we have a catalyst? Did we have a catalyst on cores? Right, last couple of days. Well, we have the options that the Godfather found. Really bullish options float just yesterday. So I like it. That's enough pillars. There's like at least 3 or 4 pillars here on Core Z. So I added CORZ this morning. All right, so I like that one. CORZ. It says Canadian 33 cents versus 19 cents last year. All right, that's another figure to look at. So 33 minus 19 divided by 19. Wow, so it's up 73% year over year. Trailing PE pretty low. I mean, no matter how you cut it, this is a easy buy here, meaning this thing's worth at least the 200 DMA. We're going above the 200 DMA. That's why I was buying below $10 and at $10 here at 200 DMA at 991. All right, but above that, it gets a little hard to predict because of the lack of guidance and because those numbers are on the lower end, those EPS numbers, so you can't just take 40%. So let me see what I could do here. Let me go to the weekly. I'd say right here is a decent area we can get to. All right, I'm gonna say 1175 or so. I see that resistance on the weekly. Is that right up here? Yeah. This area, 1180. Let me see what that would represent, by the way. 1180 minus roughly 9 divided by 9. About 31%. Wow, you're actually getting close to the magnitude of the beat. I might say that's possible. We could do it. We can maybe get that magnitude of the beat there and get about 1180. So Goose is going to be a top pick of the day. I was looking at TSSI earnings. So before the earnings report, I write down the analyst estimates for the quarter, for next quarter, for full year. TSSI didn't have analyst estimates, so I just went back and I had the press release pulled up of what they did last quarter. And then I'm able to actually make a decision on, how the stock is going to react before even the algos pick it up, right? Because I'm super fast. I got the Benzinga Pro newsfeed over there, and I just look at the numbers, and within seconds, I was able to say TSSI is a blowout, and I was buying live on Discord at $9.50. All right, $9.50. My initial target was $11.50, but as things were progressing, I kept increasing my target. Ultimately, I had a target of $13 for last night, and it exceeded 13. Early this morning, went to 15. I won't tell you what to do now. All of that is inside our daily note in the PDF that was sent early this morning, around 6:30 a.m. this morning. Now, HIMS, monumental catalyst here. I mean, look, there's a couple analysts out there with negative notes this morning, and I think it's bullshit. I really do. Look at this. here we go. Morgan Stanley cuts from 60 to 40. All right. Who else do we have? We had TD Cowen cutting from 44 to 30. And I think there was a third one, which is not showing on my feed. All right. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. I don't buy it. I think they're trying to save someone's ass. The short position here is 60 million shares short. The volume this morning is 23 million. You can see the stock is up 34%. So you can already tell by the price action that the market disagrees with those analysts. I'm very bullish on right now. Look at this reversal overnight at 288, which is, right at that 50 DMA. Man, I wish I could have bought like call options overnight or something like that. Well, you could have done it if you have futures account. But in any case, I was starting to think about gold yesterday. I should have gotten it yesterday. Already up 0.5% this morning because we're getting close to that line. Yeah, I shouldn't have been so greedy to say, let's touch the line. So I think it's a worthwhile bet over here. I like the risk reward trying gold out here. I just wish I could have gotten it in the middle of the night. All right. These are the two most obvious plays, right? Rocket Lab, competitor of SpaceX, ASTS, competitor of Starlink, which is part of SpaceX for now. It's supposed to be spun off, I believe, from SpaceX. So these are the two most obvious ones. We jumped on this Friday, right? Made some good money on call options on Rocket Lab. ASTS calls didn't perform too well. It's a small open green candle on Friday. I know my buddy in the Discord swung the ASTS calls. Good for him. But in any case, these are still going to be in play, I think. I got levels in the PDF that I sent out for both. Other things that I saw that I'm pretty interested in, CORZ. I know Godfather's been all over this, but I like it. I'm going to give it an additional endorsement. From the way I look at things, I think he's probably looking mostly at valuation. I see a 4-pillar play here. I'm assuming he's right on the valuation. Now we have the technicals over the 200 DMA, which trying to break the 200 DMA 1181. But we also have sentiment, a sympathy move with APLD here. APLD sympathy. All right, up in sympathy with APLD. Let's go back to that. Sorry. So we got the sentiment, which is that sympathy move. We have the technical break. We have the valuation. Do we have a catalyst? Did we have a catalyst on cores? Right, last couple of days. Well, we have the options that the Godfather found. Really bullish options float just yesterday. So I like it. That's enough pillars. There's like at least 3 or 4 pillars here on Core Z. So I added CORZ this morning. All right, so I like that one. CORZ. Good morning. It is Friday the 13th, and Brett, we love it. We love it in all markets, all geopolitical.
Yes, we do.
I mean, it's just great. We just gobble up the news. I live on that. I live on all that delta of information because delta of information brings a delta in price. Wow. it finally happened. All right, finally happened here. Let me just give you a little peek of the morning note here. Finally happened. Iran war. Look at this. Yesterday, beat the market just a little bit, 0.6%. Should have done much better because I made a ton on gold contracts, gold call contracts. Correct. We should have kept those gold call contracts. I made like 150% on them yesterday. They were expiring Monday. If I kept them, they'd be up like 300%. But also, we should have done oil. I don't know why I didn't think about the oil contracts, but
yeah, USO.
In any case, Trump faked us out a little bit yesterday. Talking down the prospects of a war. It was like, yeah, I want to negotiate. We're going to do a deal. I got to do a deal. I don't want Israel going in. If there's any chance of a deal, I've been sending my whole team. My whole team's been instructed to do a deal with Iran. Did you hear all those comments yesterday?
Yeah.
He tricked me, man. And that was 100% for sure in coordination with Israel to take Iran off of guard there. Crazy. All right, so the war is here. So check out this beautiful big macro section I wrote. Oh, I just gobble up this stuff. It's so interesting. But in any case, we have a bunch of trade ideas. Let me kind of talk you through. This is a PDF delivered to our paying subscribers every morning. But let's just look at gold for a second. Okay, gold breaking out. It did hit all-time new highs, the GLD at least, earlier this morning. Let me just see what the actual gold contracts did. 3509. No, that one didn't touch 3509, but it looks like it's headed there, honestly. Look at this. Daily RSI not overbought yet. So gold, I think, still has more room, even after the initial shock of this war has taken place. Maybe it has more room. But let's just talk about this a little bit. What's it mean for markets? All right, let's pull up SPY QQQ. By the way, a little bit about the schedule. Stay with us here. First of all, yeah, someone put SenesTech earlier. Let me put on the comments so people can see. Okay, so there's big news from SenesTech. We'll get to that. But in the meantime, yes, also today we have a big interview with WRAP CEO, WRAP. That's a riot play, all right, with all the riots going on. Last time in the Summer of Love 2020, WRAP tripled over the span of a couple of months, all right? So we're going to talk to the WRAP CEO again and find out more very soon. I think that's at 9:15 a.m. Right, Rat?
Yep, 9:15.
All right, so we got a little less than 30 minutes with you here, and the WRAP CEO is coming on at 9:15 a.m., so stay tuned for that. All right, but the war, right? What's it mean for the, we'll talk about what are the plays. There's lots of plays. There's like defense and drone plays and defense tech and probably oil plays, but I don't really do oil plays, unfortunately. But in any case, SPY QQQ IWM. First, let's look at the levels. Let's see where we are. Okay, 20 DMA. We're above the 20 DMA on QQQ. We are above the 20 DMA on SPY. Now, we're actually below the 20 DMA on SPY overnight, so nice rebound. IWM is above the 20 DMA as well. Now, JP Morgan had a note out yesterday that we put in our morning note yesterday morning. And in that morning note, they said this. They said rate cuts would be taken off the table if there was an attack on Iran. They thought that rate cuts would be taken off the table due to the inflationary impact of a spike of oil to 120. All right. So oil's not at 120 now. It's at like 70 something. Where's my oil? Hold on. I don't know how to pull it up on desktop. Let me get the futures contract here on my phone. Okay, futures contract 73.84. So oil's at 73.84, well short of this 120 that JP Morgan's talking about, but I don't necessarily believe them. Okay, look, this thing can play out in so many different ways. But I'll say this. I know I'm kind of all over the place this morning. Usually the play is to buy war. Okay, when you buy war dips, you always get paid. It's just a matter of when. In my experience, usually get paid. A lot of times you get paid the same day. You get paid the same day by buying the dip anytime there's some sort of war. Okay, you'll definitely get paid in the longer term. Now, I'm a little bit more cautious today about being paid today by buying the dip because look where we've come. Like, look at this. We're like at the highs, basically. All right, we're like at the highs, basically. So maybe if you want to say the market wanted to pull back anyway and look at the IWM rejected at the 200 DMA anyway, all right, so maybe we have a pullback, not really because of the war, but because that's just an excuse of what it was going to do anyway. That's possible. That makes me hesitate, like going, backing up the truck and buying anything on the dip. So I think to be safe, you have to be selective about what you buy on this dip. All right. So, Trump comments. I'm seeing all these tweets about Trump's comments. He's a funny guy. All right. So, in any case, yeah, that's my take on the IWM QQQ SPY. I think you got to be careful broadly buying anything. You can always go back and test that 20 DMA. In a worst case scenario, which I don't think is going to happen, in a worst case scenario where you have like some sort of regional breakout and other countries get involved, and then there's fear of like a nuclear strike, or I don't think that's going to happen. All right. But if that happens, then maybe you test the 200 DMA. I don't think that's going to happen, especially looking at the news and what's going on there with the attack in Iran. It looks like Iran's capability to do a counterattack is pretty limited right now. They really like struck all the leadership. They struck a lot of their capabilities. So they are expecting, this is expected, though. Israel's been saying this is supposed to be a several week war, 2 to 3 week war. They're expecting some sort of response from Iran, but I don't know. The way I'm looking at them, like, what kind of response can they muster? So it's possible. I would say the worst case probably is a 20 DMA test, based on my bias of this not breaking out into something much bigger. If it does break out into something massive, then you always can break out. You can always test your breakout level there. But usually you get paid the same day for buying the dip. Again, only reason I hesitate to broadly like to go in and say, let me buy SPY calls at the open or QQQ calls at the open or any big cap tech at the open. Only reason I hesitate is because we're up here at the highs and maybe we needed to pull back anyway. So that's why I'm going to be selective in the stocks we pick today. All right. Now, in the morning note here, which I printed out for myself, all right, as a guide, trade ideas. And as far as the war name goes, there's some other stocks we'll talk about. But first, as far as the war names goes, there's a few I want to point out that I think could be interesting. First, ESLT, Zim, and Palantir. Okay. Now, why these? ESLT is a defense play. Interesting. Look at these large defense companies: Lockheed Martin, RTX, Northrop Grumman. They're all up between 3% and 4%. Well, ESLT is catching up 2.9%. But this ESLT is the Lockheed Martin of Israel. And yesterday, it spiked to all-time new high. I think someone knew what was happening. So did oil. Someone knew oil was pumping into the close yesterday. Someone knew what was happening. But in any case, ESLT pumped into the close yesterday to an all-time new high. It's actually a much better chart than Lockheed Martin, and RTX is pretty good and better than Northrop Grumman. All right. By the way, F-35 is getting a lot of praise on the for the attack last night. Lockheed Martin makes those. So, but in any case, if you're looking at these big cap defense names, maybe ESLT could have a nice open green candle today, up 2.9%. Be careful with that. The spread is 444 by 449. So it actually is kind of an inline move with RTX and Northrop Grumman, because if you end up buying at the midpoint of the ask right now, you'll be up about 4%. But this one's has the best chart all-time high, and it's going right to the source, Israeli military. All right. So that might overperform today. Then we have Zim, like a secondary play. What are the Houthis going to do? Are the Houthis going to come in and disrupt Red Sea shipping again? Maybe Zim will be up because of that. Then a lot of Palantir chatter about the help that a lot of people think Palantir is giving to Israel to execute this war. Seeing a pop from the lows. It went all the way to 130 overnight. We're 133 here. So maybe that one will overperform. All right. Other related names. Let's look at drones. The whole drone sector is up now. It's reportedly Israeli intelligence, Mossad, set up a drone base from within Israel, and simultaneously using drones from inside of Iran hit missile defense systems, and also surface-to-surface missiles that can attack Israel. They took those out simultaneously using these drones. Okay, and I think that's why you're seeing these drone stocks all up. The whole entire drone sector. Katos, Arcat, UMAC. Here's a lagger. I picked up some of this laggard this morning. PDYN usually moves with Arcad and UMAC. So maybe that's a catch-up play for today.
Yeah, UMAC had news this morning that came out.
Oh, they did? I missed it. What was the news? Let's see. Aloft? They're acquiring Aloft. Let's look at what that is exactly. That came out at 8:45, 10 minutes ago. UMAC, a leader in drone technology and component manufacturing, today announced it has signed a definitive agreement to acquire Rotor Lab Pty Ltd, an Australian developer and manufacturer of electric motors and propulsion systems for unmanned aerial systems. The proposed acquisition is substantially an all-stock deal valued at $7 million. So they're using their currency. That's priced pretty good for them. Founded in 2020. Okay, so they're issuing $7 million worth of stock to buy this company. Okay, so news on UMAC. All right, so this whole drone sector here could be up this morning. I got into the PDYN laggard so far. Okay, now other plays for today. I do have some gold calls that I got back into yesterday, but man, I had a ton of them yesterday. If Trump didn't fake me out, I would have kept half, right? I had sold half in the morning, and then the other half I was holding on, and then when Trump faked me out, I'm like, all right, looks like there's no war this weekend. So I sold the other half of my gold. But then when I saw oil pumping into the close, I'm like, and I also saw some hints on social media from some credible accounts of unusual things going on in the Middle East late in the day. That's when I decided to step back in, but just small, like 1/7 of my size that I had the previous day on GLD. So that'll help a little bit offset some losses on my longs, but not enough. Okay. That's one thing. By the way, you know what? Should I take profits on? It's hard, not a lot of money to be made out there right now. Should I take profits on MP this morning? I'm thinking about it. I bought MP at 7 a.m. at a little over $30. You know what? I'm going to take my profit and try to get back in. All right, but MP, a top pick of the day for a morning note. Get a preview 2 days in a row here about what the morning note's about. All right. I usually don't give this much detail away to the general public, but we are doing an extended show here because we're doing the interview with the. I almost bought more MP, so I had the wrong thing. So let me take my profits. I'm so tired. I didn't sleep last night, man, and I have a sinus infection. So I slept 4 hours, but.
Last night I went to bed pretty late too, watching all that news on.
I know, right? It's crazy. And anyway, all right. So I took some profits on MP, but MP, a top pick of the day, right here. All right, news yesterday about. Let's get the exact wording from the morning note here in our Trump catalyst section. It says, per Bloomberg report, rare earth companies are set to benefit from Trump using the Defense Production Act to access financing and loans to boost domestic rare earth production. A timeline is not set yet, but MP is reportedly to be a major beneficiary of the effort, with the Deputy Defense Secretary Steve Feinberg working to line up funding for the company. And that's why I see MP outperforming all of the other rare earths. In fact, I did pick up some TMC yesterday, and it's not working this morning. All the money's going to MP. All right, because of that specific report there, that MP was specifically called out to benefit from this effort to use the Defense Production Act. This is just a report. It's not solidified yet, but you always want to buy the rumor, sell the news when it comes to these things. So in any case, MP is a top pick today, unrelated to the war. Okay. Now, so let's move that up to the top. Another top pick today, ASTS. So there's been a top pick basically all week since last week.
Since the first.
Yeah, and they have more news last night or early this morning. Actually, I don't think the news made it into the morning note because it came out after 7 a.m. So I did have some news here that ASTS had last night, which was they made an FCC request for commercial grant for supplemental coverage from space in partnership with AT&T and Verizon. That came out yesterday. And then this morning, there was additional news on ASTS. It says, announced a settlement term sheet facilitating long-term access to up to 45 megahertz. Whatever. Technical stuff I don't understand. Now you go in there, and it talks about Legato, and apparently it's good news. All right, I don't get all the technical stuff. What I know is this is my second largest position at this point. Maybe. I don't know if it's overcome Tesla yet, but maybe. All right, in my retirement account, I've had it all year. It's been a pick of the year over at Wolf Financial this year, and I've been repeatedly saying from when this thing was $17-20, I said the target by year end is 50 plus, over 50. And on Monday morning, or maybe it was even last week, Rhett, I said that catalyst, which was the Trump-Musk relationship rift, was the catalyst to get this going, but it's not the reason why it's going up. That was just a catalyst to trigger. And there's a lot of other stuff going. There was a shareholder meeting last week. There's like a big flow of news, right? But there certainly was a sentiment shift, and that catalyst initially saw money moving both into ASTS and Rocket Lab, right? When they were saying, okay, we're going to look at SpaceX. That's what set this off, but that's not why it's up. That was just like, fuel was spread everywhere, all over the place. And that was just the match to get things going. That's why you see ASTS still going up, even though Rocket Lab has come down, as the relationship between Trump and Musk has been improving over the last several days. But it looks like my call early this week was right. I said, this is going to be an inflection where we're going to I didn't anticipate it'll go up every day, every single day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, this is ridiculous already. Didn't anticipate that. Okay. But I did anticipate that when you go back and look at the chart, that this moment in time would be the inflection where it breaks this previous high of 39 and heads towards 50. Now, the way things are going with this big short position, at this point, you can't be surprised at anything. Maybe it's going to do it today even, all right? Okay, maybe it's going to break new all-time high today. You can't take that off the table, even with the market weakness, all right? I did buy some ASTS this morning at 7 a.m., okay, when I was able to start trading, and I added more. Actually, I don't know what my average is. In fact, let me even see, because it dropped. It's right around here, 36.29. All right, so I added average of 36.29. Got a nice good price here and a bad price up there on the news. But in any case, it averages out to where we're trading at right now, 36.29. So that's another top pick for the day. ASTS and MP. Now, so neither of these are related to the war plays. All right, I gave you the war plays earlier for those joining late. Okay, man, we will get to Sinestec. Just wait till you see what that's about, guys. Wait till you see. Gosh, I'm kind of tired, but okay. AMD. Let's do AMD. All right, AMD. Lots of news yesterday. All right, let's go back and reference this PDF here. AMD, where are you? Where are you? Catalyst section. Released several significant positive developments yesterday at its accelerating AI event. Baird reiterates a 140 price target. There's probably other analysts who chimed in as well. All right, in our Discord, in the news channel, there's a ton of details on all the developments that happened with AMD yesterday. And I'll tell you this, the Godfather loves it. And when he loves it, and when I like it, I think I saw a lot of talk, and there were a lot of big partners coming in. And I saw NVIDIA sprinkled there. I don't know, are they trying to compete with NVIDIA? That was kind of like what I felt the takeaway, but I'm not like an expert in this area. All right, but that's what it seemed like. All right, AI play, big guidance they were giving, improved guidance, maybe encroaching on NVIDIA. I don't know. I'm not sure. But look at this 200 DMA calling its name, 124.64, 20 DMA support at 115.58. With all that news yesterday, I think you're going to hold that 115.58. I bought some call options yesterday. Might add more today. All right. So AMD potential candidate to outperform. But, that was third on my list here after ASTS and MP, because I feel AMD is going to be more pulled by the market, more so than MP and ASTS. MP and ASTS can do whatever the heck they want. AMD, there's a lot of algos and indices that impact AMD. So if we don't get, a bounce, which, again, going back to my discussion earlier, usually when you buy the open on days like this, you get paid same day, usually. But I can't have that conviction today just because where we are on the indices, all right? So because of that, I have AMD as a third pick. and I think I even said this. I said, if you buy the dip here on AMD on yesterday's news, there's no guarantee you get paid today. So I suggested common shares, or if you go call options, go at least a month out. Okay. So that's my advice on AMD. All right. So let's head back over here. So we got MP, which I just sold prematurely. By the way, I have a $35 price target on MP, which I think possibly could come today. Why the hell did I sell it now? I don't know. Just I need to scalp profits on a day like this. I might get back in. A lot of times on days like that, I don't mind buying back higher, especially when something's in play. You know, if I see it keeps going and breaks resistance, I'll just get back in higher. No problem with that. So MP's still, look, top of my list. All right, $35 price target. Kind of more clear to see if you go to a weekly or monthly chart. You can see where that 35 comes into play. Okay, right up in this area. All right, what time is it? You got 9 minutes left. All right, what am I missing? So we got ASTS, MP.
You know what someone was mentioning too is Mob, considering being in Israel.
Yeah, Mob. I own that in my long-term account.
They're up this morning on that news as well. It's
been hard to trade. Yeah, all the drone stocks are up this morning. Well, except Paladin, which is why I bought Paladin. It's got to catch up. Look at this. You know what? I might have to buy more Paladin right now. That's not possible. It's not possible for Paladin to be the only drone stock to be down today. Buying it right now.
Yeah, honestly, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right, added more Paladin. Every single drone stock, at least on the top, the more higher quality ones at the top of our list, all green. See that pre-market? 10%, 12%, 4%, 4%, 8%, 4%, well, 3%, 8%, 4%, 2.5%. Paladin, minus 1%. I think that's an opportunity. All right. In fact, let me just throw that up into my main list. Okay. So going back to our top picks. So we got the Wrap CEO coming on in 8 minutes. So I think the last thing we'll cover right now, Rhett, let's do our SenesTech update, and it's going to be a doozy.
Awesome. Yeah, it is. Let's get to it.
All right. SenesTech update, guys. Pay attention. This is a really, really important update. Now, just as a reminder, as you know, SenesTech is a sponsor of our program, paid sponsor of the story trading community. We've been following their story over the last several months, and everything is starting to come into play right now. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Let me bring out this press release that came today. Okay, I already have it highlighted. Baltimore expands use of Evolve rodent birth control following successful pilot. Look at this. This should have been in the title. Full-scale implementation expected. If I was writing their PRs, I would have said Baltimore expected to expand to full-scale implementation. Do you guys have any idea how massive this is?
Huge.
This is what we have been waiting for. This is what we've been talking about for months, that if this happens, this company is going to be a 5 to 10 bagger. And it's here, right? Okay, but they didn't expand full scale yet. They're expected to expand. Or, they might say, I don't know, well, maybe Baltimore's the only place that expand. Look, at this point, we know all the reviews, that's on Amazon, all the people using the product. We know it works. Now Baltimore's saying the pilot program worked. They're expected. They can't put this out. If they didn't expect this, they can't say this for legal reasons. They're expected to go to full scale implementation. They're expanding the program right now on the way to full scale. We went through the numbers before. I mean, they're astronomical. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars a year when a city expands to full scale. I mean, if you did the math, I mean, it could be over 10 million a year, I think, Rhett.
Yeah, that was for New York and the other ones, but
okay, right around that's more smaller. Okay, fine. Millions of dollars a year. Then you got Chicago and New York. I mean, they're testing.
You have 4 other pilots happening at the same time.
Okay, including New York City. So this is what I call a sentiment inflection point. This is the mother of all catalysts. If you're not buying this stock now, and I'm not a financial analyst, an advisor or anything like that, you go make your own decisions. But as far as this show goes and what we do for a Discord, I cannot be pounding the table any harder. Right now, I added more to my long-term account, added more to my short-term account. This is the time. This is the type of catalyst you want to jump on. You're talking about a $5 million market cap company, okay, that just with Baltimore can get millions of dollars a year in revenue. And now you have the improved sentiment, which is going to bring a premium to the stock, because now there's going to be expectations to get other cities, including at some point New York City, which will bring over $10 million a year revenue for the company on a $5 million market cap. If you're not buying the stock right now, I can't help you. Okay, then you don't know what you're doing. I will tell you this caveat. There are warrants out there exercisable at $290. So at some point, those warrant holders will exercise and sell their shares. I don't know when they're going to do that, but there's 1.5 million shares out there exercisable at $290. So now the stock's $298. They're in the money. So at some point, as the stock goes up, who knows? It's impossible to know their intentions and what they're going to do. You know, are they happy with an 8-cent profit? Are they going to hold for $5 or $6 or $10 or $15? Nobody knows. But there's an overhang there with those warrant holders at a $2.90 exercise price. Looking at the technicals here, all right, I think we can get into the 340, 350. Honestly, I have to tell you, I'm a little bit surprised at this. I think this is an underreaction in pre-market right now. It's up 7%. I was buying shares this morning all the way to 309, and I don't regret it, by the way. I'm not playing I'm not gonna like try to save pennies when the profit is gonna be dollars here. All right, you're talking now that this stock's gonna go. It should go eventually and pretty quickly, I think, to $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. So I'm not going to negotiate over. Am I buying the stock at $3 or $3.09? I don't care. So I bought the stock all the way to 309 this morning. It's back down to 3. And that's honestly, we talked about everything else. This is the catalyst of the day. All right. Is SenesTech. All right. It's 9.
And they just had the catalyst 2 days ago too, with the largest order in company
and
history.
Then 2 days ago, they had the largest order in company history in terms of the distributor orders. Like, yeah, this company is on firing all cylinders right now. Let me just see. We have any comments? I think I saw comments. Okay. Mob is an Israeli drone company. Yes. Okay. So all the drone companies are up. But like I said, I own Mob. It's a little hard to trade with liquidity issues, and my broker makes it hard to trade Mob specifically. But in any case, PDR-WAN, not really a drone stock, though. Only got a collaboration with Arcat. It's mainly a robotics company. Okay. I mean, I hear that, but generally I've noticed it moving with the drones. So we'll see. But you may be right. That might explain why it's the only drone stock that's down this morning. But, you know, I have noticed that correlation, so I'm okay with that purchase I made here this morning. All right. It was 9:13. We got 2 minutes. And in these 2 minutes, let's set up the CEO of Wrap. Let me bring this here. It's Scott Cohen. Okay. So Wrap Technologies, back in, there's been lots of riots over the years that I played, right? This is the, let me go to monthly chart here. Wrap. Okay. This is the 2020 riots, Summer of Love. All right. Right over here. We went from about $5 to $15 on Wrap. There were like LA riots before that, all kinds of riots over the years. And there's always riot stocks that are in play every time this happens. All right. Back in the day, you had Taser, which is now Axon. You had DGLY. There's also maybe VTSI and Byrna. So there's lots of stocks in that sector, which, you know, tend to do. Now, I zeroed in on Wrap here after I did some research because DGLY kind of not in that business anymore from what I was able to tell. All right. Wrap still is. And I checked out the previous, the most recent conference call, and it was pretty good. There were some promising things about Wrap growing. Thank you so much, Izzy, for that comment. All right. In the backstage there, Scott, I think you're on the phone, but whenever you're ready, just give us a thumbs up so we know that you're ready so we can bring you on. I don't know. Can you hear us? I think they may be having some technical issues back there, Rhett. I'm not sure. But we're at 9:15. All right, so let's figure it out. All right, Rhett, let's put on the countdown, and then we'll start the interview with CEO of Wrap. Good morning, Scott Cohen. It's Friday the 13th. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling great. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Nice background there. You look happy. Everything's bright. I like it. I need to be where you are.
Yeah,
All right, Scott. As I don't know if you heard the comments I just had, but obviously the reason we have you on is because of everything that's going on in the news with the riots, right? Back 4 years ago, that whole summer of riots, summer of love that some people call it, all those riot stocks. I'm sure you're familiar with many of those companies. Axon, and it used to be Taser, and VTSI, and Byrna, and Digley, DGLY, right? They all exploded during this time, including your stock tripled, right? So we want to know, is your stock going to benefit from this somehow? So why don't you just give us a quick overview of who you are, when you joined the company, what your technology is, and just your thoughts on what's going on in Los Angeles and throughout the country. Let's see if we can do that in just a few minutes so we can have time for Q&A. We got to wrap this up by about 9:29 in like 13 minutes. So go ahead.
Great. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. My background is I've been an entrepreneur almost from day one. I started off on the sell side, then went to the buy side and started a asset management business back in 2001, and then went on to do a couple of private equity funds in energy, and then came up with this idea, an idea around a new device that didn't use pain to get somebody in compliance. I wanted to develop that. I sought out an inventor, Woody Norris, and after quite a bit of talk, we came up with an idea around the BolaWrap, and that was about it was around 7 years ago, and through a lot of hard work and a lot of drama, here we are. We've got a heck of a product right now that does solve a really big need in public safety. And I can just, because we don't have much time, what is that need? The need is, in policing today, there's been continued regulation that's swept in that makes it really hard for officers to use the tools on their belt today. They're typically they've got guns, pepper spray, batons, and tasers mostly. And if you just look at the restrictions through the new policies that have been created, it's making it awfully hard for those tools to be used. In fact, about 3 weeks ago, the Supreme Court just made a decision on a 9-0 decision that the totality of circumstances is now going to be, it's a new ruling. So now they're going to look at all the behavior leading up to the incident, which means that officers are going to be having more cautious how they approach an event, and everything. All this is going to be evidence now. So it's making it absolutely critical that when you come into an incident, you've got to have tools that support today's environment. And what's happening now in policing and public safety, and a lot of people don't know this, it's gone back to hands-on. They're not able to use their tools because the tools could be excessive. So now, as a result of policy, it's becoming hands, and our tool absolutely gives officers an advantage they've never had before, because this is a pre-escalation tool. It's before it actually escalates. And there's a lot of nuance to that, and how you train it, how you deliver that training, the tactics around it, and also how you communicate is key. We're training that. We've got a device that goes with that. And that's why we think this device will be on every belt and every officer around the world, because this is the only thing out there that doesn't use pain to bring you in
Every belt,
compliance.
every officer, are you saying like the growth that Taser had? Like eventually,
Bigger.
like, you think?
In my opinion, this is going to be used, and we're already seeing it used more than tasers in dozens of accounts. And I'd love to take credit for it, but I can't. It's happening organically without us.
I
Remember,
think there's a video that my colleague Rhett is setting up in the background here. Rhett, is that ready? Let's see. Is there audio? I don't hear audio.
I'm not hearing it.
Rhett, why don't you reshare? Stop the share, reshare it. Make sure you click on the audio to share the system audio. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready on that, Rhett.
Okay, sounds good. It's just music playing, so.
Oh, it's just music. Well, okay, but anyway, we like music, so.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, imagine there's music. It's only music that we're missing. There we go. Bowler wrap. There's something being shot there. I see something. Someone falls. Scott, what's going on? All right.
I'm not seeing it. So
You're not
here
seeing
we
it.
go.
We're seeing it. Okay.
Here we go. All right. Well, I'm just catch it. So you saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
these events, there's 25,000 arrests a day in this country, and about 20% resist. Okay, in the so that's 5,000 resistors a day, and you have to use some level of force. What are they using? They're using their hands right now. It was different, very different 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. And I'm seeing a behavioral change in policing where they're going to their hands. And as we introduce this tool and as we train it the right way, I'm seeing a very big ramp in deployment data. That is not something that's been too public because use of force isn't reported. Our tool is actually not, in most of the accounts that we have, over 500 of our departments don't even have it as a reportable use of force. So therefore, this data is not out there, and it's our responsibility as a company to make sure that data gets out there. To answer your question, it's a very different tool than Taser. It does not compete. It doesn't do the same thing. This is prior to the encounter escalating. This is to prevent an escalation from happening. This is to prevent this people losing themselves in the encounter. And if we can get in front of it, Ben, that's the key. It's verbal commands, it's mindset, it's how we approach, it's how to calm yourself down and the subject down. There's skill in that needs to be delivered. And we're cracking the code on how to deliver that. It's not the old training that you used to see. It's not the only, it's very nuanced. We're going to do it with direct connection with every officer that carries the bull wrap because they need it. That's where we're seeing ramps in our program through a learning management system. And then we can train the pre-escalation, and the tool is just turns out to be an extra advantage. But it matters what you do before the encounter, at the encounter, and then get in front of it before it turns into a big problem. And that's what we're trying to do.
All right, Scott, let's talk about how shareholders can benefit from this. Back 4 years ago, we saw your stock triple and then eventually gave it all back. Did it deserve tripling? What happened then? When you had those summer riots, did your sales increase? And then if they did increase, what happened since then? Why might it be different now?
Look, I think the people connected that narrative and thought that, I think people thought to themselves, there's got to be something else. There's got to be a tool out there that doesn't use pain to get somebody in compliance. So when people connected with that, it took the stock to those levels. Should it have been there? Good question. It certainly wasn't there on a price to earnings or on a price sales multiple. But I think people believed that once you get one or two big departments and it goes mainstream, it has to go through the rest of the country, and then it has to be adopted by the world. So this is the kind of thing where you get one or two departments with good outcomes, and it becomes a go-to on the belt. Not only the other departments in that area are going to have to, they'll take note, and they'll probably change behavior and likely take on a program, but the rest of the country is watching. We're getting covered closely by media. Every time there's a deployment, it's typically aired on television in that local market.
Are you seeing, when you get unrest like this in the streets, does that directly result in more incoming phone calls from police departments?
I would say in the last couple of weeks, huge spike in inquiries, asking for quotes, asking for demonstrations, wanting to talk to. So yeah, we see an absolute correlation to this activity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
sorry.
And what about Los Angeles? I looked at your conference call transcript, and you actually specifically called out Los Angeles and the prospects of winning them back. Apparently, they were a customer at some point, and then they left. And you talk about what you think you can win them back because now you have data that you didn't have before. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So there's a department right next to LA called Hawthorne. It's actually where the airport is. And Hawthorne's extremely active with our device. It's go-to. They use it more than anything on their belt. It's one of our top. It's a very active account of ours. The LA, I wasn't when LA was when we were piloting in LA, there was a variety of factors that kind of interfered with that pilot, including COVID and others. So I don't need to go into the excuses, but yes, it's not just LA. It's several major cities that had programs, and when we show them the new data, Ben, the conversation changed real fast, and they just asked for backup on that.
How is it? Just I was trying to understand, why didn't you have data before, and how do you have that data now?
We had no data. That was the problem. We had
Why not? And what changed? How do you have it now?
Brand new company. So we had just gotten in the marketplace. We're probably a year in with LA, so we really didn't have it. When I took over the job about 18 months ago, I came in, and the first thing I wanted is data. Let me see what's happening on the customer side. And unfortunately, it took a long time to get in my hands, and it took a lot of one-on-one meetings, phone calls, and relationships that we lean into to get the information. And Ben, that's what's driving me now. The data is so damn good and it's so compelling. I feel like when I'm in front of chiefs now and in front of departments, it's such an easier conversation because the data doesn't lie. And we're going to tell a data story, and it changes. And I've already done it with multiple big major cities, some customers or some pilot programs that we had that were high profile failures. But looking at this, it's a very quick attitude change. It's really about how are we resourced to go after the entire country. And that's what our go-to-market. That's what we're about to do, is go out to this whole country. So it's because we're limited in staff, we have to be very careful how to do it. So we've picked our spots, and we're very focused on the customers, because we know if deployment data continues on the track it is now, this will be everywhere.
Scott, last topic. We only have like 90 seconds left. With microcap companies, the key always is it's a race between cash on hand and profitability, right? That's everything when it comes to microcap. So give us your outlook on that. You have a few quarters of cash left. What needs to happen? What sort of inflection catalyst needs to happen for you to flip to profitability? And is it possible to achieve that before having to raise more capital, I guess, before the end of the year?
So to me, it's already happened. It's the deployment data. The product, the device is more stable. We're not seeing any mechanical failures at all. So the device is absolutely stable. So these deployments are going to drive more contracts for us. It's going to change. The behavior is changing. It's starting. So the more that we're able to share that data with customers, you'll see some high profile customers come on. We're going to share that data, and profitability is fairly simple. It's volume. We know what we spend a month. We know what the size of the business.
Like, how many cities do you think you need to sign up to get to profitability? How many additional cities? Medium, normal size, average size.
Yeah, I mean, we have ranges from 5 officers to 100,000 officers in different countries. So this is public. I'm happy to share it. One of our decent sized customers has already several $1 million in BolaWraps, and they've indicated to the public that they're going up to 40,000. Well, that's over $80 million for us. Our cost structure is not going to, and just that's a portion of that's just a part of one contract.
All right. Well, we got Scott, we don't have time. We got to look into that. Seems interesting. We'd love to get further updates from you in the future. Let's keep the conversation going, but we got to go. Market's about to open, and crazy stuff going on today. All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That was ticker symbol WRAP. All right. You may have some event anticipation action today. We saw that yesterday. Big event anticipation, a real reaction to what's going in LA. We have the weekend riots possibly coming up, and we could see a further move in wrap. Very typical action before a weekend of geopolitical type of instability, to see stocks benefiting from that to go up on Friday afternoons. That's why it's on our radar today. That's why we wanted him here this morning. But listen, we got to go. And we got to say goodbye to X. If you want to join our community, it's storytrading.com. Or just click in the instance of a larger crowd of riot officer carries multiplier. Okay, nope, we don't have time for that, Sam. But we got to go on X. We'll stay on for a little bit longer on our Discord. Take care, everyone, on X. Join us at storytrading.com. All right. A lot to manage here this morning.
ASTS flying.
All right, at least that's working for me. But I sold that. But PDYN not working for me. This thing deserves. I'm sorry, but Sinestec, this has to be reflected on the chart. Like today's volume, it should be. This is the mother of all catalysts waiting for it. This should be record volume today. I'm not saying it will be, but it should be. It deserves to be. All right, we deserve to have multi-million volume today. This is the inflection catalyst we've all been waiting for. So that's going to be right at the top of my list. All right. That's that. And I can't even really trade it because of the restrictions of Fidelity. So actually, that's what we need. We need a huge day.
ASTS, about to hit 38.
Nice. All right. No, ASTS, I did buy some of that in pre-market here. I don't even want to look at my account value because I'm probably getting killed everywhere else today. But ASTS, actually not too bad, my account. I'm down just a little bit. All right. So ASTS, I'm up 1,600, but I got 1,000 common shares this morning. These call options, not really moving yet because I should have kept the 39 ones.
Wow.
But
Fine.
I'm going to take, should I take full profit? I'm selling half of my ASTS here, the common shares. All right. And I'm wondering, you know what? Maybe I should buy more of those January call contracts. Let's see, how much are they? Oh, they're expensive. Damn, they're expensive. All right, maybe I gotta get maybe let me go to August.
I think it's getting very explosive.
44. I don't know.
What do we always say then?
I should have kept those 39s, man. Should have kept them. Oh my gosh.
Holy moly!
Hold on. Gold. Let me sell my gold.
Okay, it's coming up to that first resistance on those.
Okay, $2,000 profit on gold. Okay, first resistance. What else is going on?
All right, we're at it right now.
We're at it.
We're at
39.
Yeah, it's like 38.80 something. I'm back up on those calls that I swung up. Okay, we're about to hit all-time highs.
Wow. Well, that was a nice call. Okay, I'm going to sell my other half of the shares here.
Oh, wow. Almost.
Is that all-time highs yet?
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, it is.
About to be
Yeah, it's all-time high.
all-time high?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, that is crazy.
All right, I'm selling the other half of the common shares right here.
I'm all out these for.
I wish I kept the 39 calls, but all right, let me see. I sold the other half of the common shares. And yeah, these calls I picked up yesterday were no good. I'm not making money on them. January 55, why did I do that? January 55 is not going to make me money. So what's there to do? What's there to do is put the relative strength at the top. All right, we got ASTS and Sinestec. And let's see if RAP picks up. All right, let's see what else we got down here. Paladine didn't work for me yet.
I'm all out. Just sold all those calls.
Good job, man.
I mean, there wasn't much,
Yeah,
but it was
sold
something.
39s.
120%.
Look at UMAC exploding. Zim exploding. Wow, the picks I had this morning doing pretty good. TMC and this is stuff I'm stuck
Wow,
on from
this is
yesterday. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I got these $55 call options. They're really not moving. What was I thinking? I'm all out now, except for those $55 calls. Damn.
I still have my long-term shares, so I'm not too.
Yeah,
worried.
I have all that. So
If this thing like really rips and gets super explosive.
Palantir flip red to green. Man, I had some good calls this morning.
Yeah, you did. I'm
But
tweeting now.
AMD not really yet. Wow, Palantir red to green, ASTS. Let me look at my morning note. Top picks for what? ASTS was the number one pick of the day.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Let's go.
Wow. What did I say? I said miss to a short squeeze to over 39. Buy the dip here. I got a massive headache. I have like a massive sinus infection or something. Oh my gosh. I sold the gold. I sold the ASCS and the gold. There it goes. Damn it. Wow. Wow. 40. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All I have is 10 call options, 55s.
Man, I don't even want to look how much those are up now.
I
That I
know.
sold.
I know.
I sold the 40s at 55. Oh my! I sold them at 55. They're at 90 now. Holy moly!
650. I'll make $1,000 on these call options if I sell them now. Should I do that?
Probably wouldn't be bad.
Wow, look at it go. Holy crap.
This thing's flying up 10%. Man, these shorts are in deep trouble now.
Yep. I don't know why you would short this stock. Retarded. All right, I'm taking my profits here. It should be all out ASCS right now. I wish I had more. Yeah, I'm all out ASCS right now. And I think I'm gonna try to get back on a dip. No? Brett, should we try again on dips?
Yeah, if we get a dip.
Yeah, I mean, what if we don't? Just enjoy the retirement account and
Yeah.
don't make trading profit. And I already sold the gold. I sold this. I have like nothing working for me now. Sinestec deserves to be much, much higher. It's ridiculous. People are asleep.
Wow.
This is really sad. How's the volume only 121,000? There's only been 300,000 of capital deployed to this today. That's ridiculous. I don't know. People don't know what they're doing. Look at Arcat and UMAC. Whoa, it's still going, right?
I know. Man, my retirement account is probably just I gotta log in to see.
Is that your biggest position?
It is, yeah.
Wow, nice.
Oh, hold on. Someone's texting me.
My retirement account.
Yeah, hold on.
Screen, yeah.
I'm inviting someone.
Inviting someone. Yeah, I'm out.
You'll see it's a special guest.
Okay.
I forgot to send that out. All right. Let me stop screen share for that. Wow.
Paladin finally coming back. Well, my retirement account is up today. I guess that's something. Not even that much. I guess everything else is down. Arcat, man, Arcat is just racing. There's ESLT. Dude, I had some great picks this morning. Holy crap. ESLT.
All right. Hey there.
Yosef?
Yo, can you hear me, guys?
What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah,
How
we
you
can hear
doing?
you.
What's
going
going on?
on? Good morning.
Nothing much.
Look
Morning.
at this.
Good morning. Look at that.
Yo, I'm all out ASTS right now, but
Wow.
I want you to know I got in with really high conviction. Ben knows I just had a baby boy like a week ago.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. There's been a lot going on, so I haven't really been so available. But ASTS,
Yeah.
I said, Ben says it's easy. Ben says it's happening. 30. I even asked him yesterday. I'm like, could 39 happen tomorrow? He's like, yeah, it could be. And basically, I've been holding $35 calls since last week Friday. I picked them up. I actually alerted it on the Discord at like I think 35-40 cents,
Wow.
and I just sold the last 100 contracts for $5.25.
Wow. Amazing.
That is
Holy
crazy.
Ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
So literally in the span of like a week, we made like 200K.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Jeez.
Man, it's really something. Maybe
Wow.
it's the blessing of the boy also, but I you know, if I didn't have this Discord, I wouldn't. It's about someone could be a great trader, but if you don't have the right direction, man, you're not. So really, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Ben.
Yeah.
Huge win, huge win. And look, it was also a bit tough because these $35 calls, they were a bit choppy over the past week. Like I was up really nicely most of the week, but I didn't know if I should sell or I should wait. Will 39 come this week? Will it not? But man, I held on, and look at that. Thank God.
Amazing. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I had your skills, man.
Look, it was scary, and I was thinking, yo, when last night with Iran, and I'm seeing ASTS overnight below $35, and I still have my full position. I had 600 contracts.
Wow.
So I'm like, shit. If this goes, I'm 200K becomes zero.
Wow.
And it worked out. And this.
Wow, look at that. I made it to top pick this morning. You see the PDF?
Yeah, I just got to the office literally 9:30 on the dot, and I'm seeing ASTS, and I have to put my orders in. So
Wow.
sometimes it pays to be late because I feel like I would have maybe sold sooner.
Well, I didn't make money, unfortunately. I had 30 contracts and I sold them yesterday. Oh boy.
I saw you trade. Weren't you trading the 39s next week or something?
Yeah. I had next week's 39, but I sold them yesterday at like break even.
Wow. And Rhett, you didn't have any?
Yeah, I did. I sold the 40s today. I made over 120%.
Wow, well
Nice,
done, well done.
nice. I did not keep them.
Well done.
Let's see.
Listen, when I picked up these 35s, ASTS was at like 31. You know, it was a big.
Yeah.
That was last Friday. Let me see a second. Last Friday, yeah, before this big one, it was at $30.80. That's why I picked it up.
Oh well. I mean, good for you, but yeah. If we could
I'm
only
saying
combine
it is
your
thanks to you. It is thanks to you. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've had a tough. I don't know. I've not executed well the last couple of weeks. I don't know why.
Try.
It's been off.
I mean, you've still been green most of the days, no?
Yeah, like 0.5% versus 0.4%.
Yeah.
But
wow, man, this is really something.
Mojo back.
Ben, I'm really thankful, man. I'll make sure to do something.
Beautiful.
Do something for you.
Thank you.
Wow. Listen, any chance you could take off Monday morning, or you?
Oh yeah, for you I will. No, I'll just do the show late. I'll come to your thing. I'll leave early, and then I'll do the show.
Yeah, the timing is tough. The timing is always tough. It's always like a 9 o'clock breed. It's tough. But we'd love to have you there.
Wow, that's someone saying Synestic should be written. Now you know what you should do. Say.
What can I do with all this money?
You should take all that money. You should take at least half of it. You should take at least half of it and buy Synestic right now, man.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been actually. Let me see. Actually, let me have a look.
Today was the inflection catalyst. It's such a joke that.
Well, it's only up to 3.
It's only up 7%. This thing should be up 30, 40, 50% today.
What the hell? Okay, let's take it.
Just do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. It deserves to go. It's insane.
I guess X got hacked too or something.
Really?
X ads are not running right now.
What's the
that Palantir call was clutch too. Oh my gosh.
Really? I didn't even check Palantir.
Look at that. I called a red to green this morning and it did it. Oh shit.
Holy yeah, because look
at that.
Wow. That's a huge move.
It's just too hard to analyze and trade at the same time. That's Yosef, you know what? I'm just gonna give that. I'll just analyze and you trade. How about
that? Now, you've been doing good, man. You've been doing really good.
Not the last.
It's not.
6 weeks. I don't know. Last 6 weeks, I've been off my game with execution.
I don't know. What I've seen, I actually still think you're superior to me, because man, I like. Yeah, okay, I could make a huge win on STS, but I could also like diamond hand, something that's just not what, like, oh, look, I'll show a perfect example. You know what I'm still in
Yeah.
and I'm taking a huge loss on? WRD. And I know you said sell it, but I was so committed to it working out and I felt I had time and it's over. Like, like it's a huge
Right.
loss.
Yeah.
So I think it's still you're superior. I mean, I can have these huge days, but I can also have these huge down days. So I need to work a lot on myself also. It's not
I need to learn how to let my runners run.
Look at this. Why didn't we buy yesterday? We missed on Oracle. Look, Rhett, you're the guy, and Yosef, if you can make it regular to the show, these big cap picks I have, I don't jump on them. Yesterday was Oracle. I'm like, Oracle's going straight to the target. I didn't do anything about it. I'm like, Palantir can go to red to green. I did nothing about it.
yeah.
I need someone to push me on these big caps. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't do it.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
you've always had that bias away from big caps, and I haven't had that problem, thank God. I actually like it better because the options are easier.
Oh, I know. No, sometimes I play the big caps. I don't play the big caps when the play looks too obvious to me. That's my hang up. My hang up is I feel like I need to be intellectual and have an edge to enter a trade. I'm like, if a trade is so obvious to everyone, then how am I supposed to make money? It's known. It's like, I feel like I have to know something nobody else knows. That's that. Like, I've done big caps before when I feel like, you remember it was like Apple, there was an Apple event on artificial intelligence like last summer or something.
You absolutely crushed that, and Amazon.
Yeah, and it went down, and I was like, it shouldn't be down today. Like, they don't get it. It's only down because of this or that, or I had a logical reason, and I'm like, I felt like I had an edge with it or something, so I did it. But when it's like a big cap, and I feel like everyone knows Palantir, everyone's in Palantir, everyone knows it's a defense play and it should go up today. I don't do it. Oracle, like IWM, the target, it's so obvious. I'm like, when it's obvious, I don't do it. That's my hang up I need to improve on, because I think my mentality is that I only get to deserve to be paid if I have a thesis that's hidden, right? If I have a thesis that's obvious, why do I deserve to be paid for that? That doesn't make me smart. That's my hang up, that I need to work on. So Palantir. So obvious. Defense play, red to green, then do it. Oracle, so obvious. And that's why I haven't been participating in this ASTS. I didn't make money on this. Can you believe this? Yosef? ASTS is my third largest position in my retirement account. When did I make money? When it was down and everyone counted it out.
Yeah. Right? I've been seeing you talk about this, and look, you have it. It's something when you said that I don't go for the easy plays, and everybody and their grandmother was saying ASTS is going to 39 plus 50. Right. Like everybody, like you go on Twitter, everybody, the chart is beautiful. Yeah. So I hear sometimes that will put you off.
Yeah,
but it's a valid. No,
but obviously it's not valid. But that's what I need to work on.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what I need to work on. It's
okay. What do you think that comes from? That when everybody is on it, you don't.
It's just a superiority thing. I feel like I need to feel smart.
Yeah.
I feel I don't deserve to be paid if it's not a smart idea. Like if everyone knows it, what's smart about that? Like, why should I get paid to do the obvious? Why should I get paid to follow the crowd? You don't make money by following the crowd. Like that's the mentality.
But I think maybe you should think, as long as I was first, then even if everybody hangs on, eventually I'll still stick to it, because ASTS, you kind of work, man. You were the beginning.
Look, I kept it in my retirement account the whole time, so I did that. That's good.
Yo, GLD, you didn't swing the Monday calls you had?
No, I sold them all yesterday.
Come on, man.
That was part of my doing. I had them sell half.
No, it's Trump.
Come on.
No, I made
all of mine.
I made 10 grand yesterday, though. Yesterday.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but I had 10 grand in losses on other shit yesterday. But hell,
One thing, Zim. What's up with Zim?
No, it was Trump who faked me out in the afternoon. That's why I sold.
Yeah.
Did he see it like yesterday afternoon? It was like, I would negotiate. We're going to negotiate. I want to deal with Iran. The Iranian people are great. I've directed my whole administration to negotiate. We're meeting them on Sunday. Did he see all that yesterday?
I wasn't following so closely. No.
Oh my God. And then when he did all that, I'm like, okay, there's his not letting Israel attack this weekend. It was a ruse. He was in on it. So he shook me out of my other half of
Man, he's
GLD
such-
calls.
Look, as much as we can love Trump, he is also playing a major game. Like he's really like, you could see it so clearly. But I mean, he's doing well with it, I think. But such a game, man. Like he knows things. Like he lets on, and then something. It's yeah.
I'm getting killed on
Definitely.
this shit today.
Yeah, he knows the art of the deal.
Yeah, exactly. That's
He,
it.
he is.
Yeah, I think
is
he
the
has
art
that.
of
He
it.
has that on the presidential desk, like next to him. He like reviews it.
Oh, Tesla, big red to green on Tesla too.
Oh, what's Tesla doing? Oh wow, look at that.
Look at Palantir. I'm just like
Nice.
staring
Oh.
at this stuff in my morning note, and I'm not doing it. Where's my morning note? Hold on. Let's look at my morning note again, see if there's any opportunity. Oh, look, the one I get in, I'm losing money on. I'm getting crushed on Paladine. Jeez. I said ASTS, MP, and AMD were the top three. All right, ASTS worked. MP is starting to work again. I'm not in it right now. And then AMD. Oh, AMD's starting to work. I have call options from yesterday. I'm down on them, obviously.
What's today? Friday.
Then I had ESLT, Palantir, and Zim. Obviously, Palantir is exploding. Katos, Ave. Look, in the drone names, I put Katos, AVAF, but I didn't even do those. Look at UMAC, up 18%. Look, this is what I have in my note. I didn't even do it. I went for fucking Paladine instead. Look at this.
Man.
Yeah,
My
you
God. I've just been off. I've been off my game, Yosef, for several weeks. I don't know.
I mean, your analysis has still been spot on. I guess your execution has been a little.
It's been weak. You know
What
what?
was that? The only dip we're gonna see on ASTS today? Was
You know what,
freaking-
Yosef? It's like I'm in capital preservation mode because
Yeah, I feel that. I never. Yeah.
you never. Holy UMAC! Everyone's talking about UMAC. Did Zim also explode? Zim was my other pick. Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on psychologically. Maybe you can help me. Zim went up and then down, but yeah, holy UMAC is
Which
right.
one? Oh, UMAC. Yo, UMAC, you were really early on. I remember you telling
Yeah, I
us
know.
to buy it when it was below 6, just a few
Yeah.
days, like a week ago. I remember I bought it. I traded it for like a day or two. I got out. But man, look at that.
Look at everything. But yeah, look, you know my story, and I've been public about it. I in my business, my
Yeah.
dating site has like 1.8 million dollars in debt, and I found out it was all personally guaranteed, and I was getting ready to file for bankruptcy,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
and I had $18,000 left to my name outside my retirement accounts. And thank God I've been able to build that 18,000 to over 700,000.
Yo, that's freaking huge, man.
Right,
That's
right. So
huge.
like bankruptcy is off the table, but it's not really. So like I don't want to lose that money. Like that amount of money I have now. So I've already paid off all the high interest rate credit cards, all the business cards and personal cards.
Oh wow, fantastic. Well done.
Yeah. Actually, I couldn't even buy fucking food for a while because I didn't. My credit cards are maxed out, but now my credit cards are working again.
Thank God.
So I paid off all the high interest rate credit cards. I'm starting to pay off all the other debts, but I still have like, what do I have left? Maybe 1.5 million in debt that's not paid off
Wow.
versus about 550,000 of working capital, right?
Yeah.
So
okay,
that
but at
was
least you got
impactful.
time, man. You got
but
time.
that's
bro.
what I'm telling you. I'm at a place where I can service that debt with 550 grand. Like I can come in here and I'm like, I don't need to take a big risk. I don't want to do anything that's going to cost me to lose. I don't want to lose 20 grand on a trade. I don't know how you do it. Like 20 grand's a lot of money. How do you put 20 grand in ASTS calls, 18 grand?
Man, I think
do it?
it's a problem. I've become a little bit desensitized to amounts of money that are considered big. I don't know, man. Some things like it's a problem because sometimes 20K, no, 100K into weekly calls. Like, how could I do something like that? But I do it, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh,
But
that's crazy.
it's scary.
I can't do it because if I make a big bet and lose it, then all of a sudden, I might have to do bankruptcy again. I can't do it. Like I'm at a place where over 500 grand with all my highest interest rate debts paid off. Now I have the low interest rates. I could service that debt over time. All I got to do is make like 10 grand a month.
Yeah, but
on 500
also,
grand, that's all I got to do. Make 10 grand a month and I can service that debt.
okay, but to get from 18 to over 700, did you take crazy amount of risk? No,
I did not. Can you believe it?
Okay, so listen.
Can you
So
believe
why
I
don't you
did not?
So if you keep doing what you did,
I don't know.
If you keep doing what you did, you can
I
get that
don't-
700 to
yeah,
1.4 in another 5 months, let's say.
I mean, that's my goal, but I've been struggling here. I've been struggling for the last few weeks. I don't know.
Are you still green over the past 5 weeks?
5 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're doing good, man. It's been a very choppy market. I know your analysis is good, but
straight up. I mean, what are you talking about?
Nah,
Last
it's
5
been
weeks
choppy
here.
on the
Let me
way
see.
up. I don't know.
The 1 month return is only up 10% in 1 month. S&P is up 3.6%. All right.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. And it's like a choppy. It's a choppy.
Like
way up.
I'm managing it like a big portfolio, basically. You know.
Yeah. Look, which is it's the right way. It's the right way to do it. You always told me. I mean, it's not like you come into the stock market, get rich quick. It doesn't work, man. I've seen it. We've seen it together. It's if you take too much like that, you'll end up shooting yourself in the foot, like no matter what. And I've suffered a lot, man. I've suffered a lot. This is a great win today, but I've had many big losses.
Getting killed on AOI.
So I don't know. I see what you're doing, and I'm actually envious of how you trade because I know you look at me and like, oh, I need to. But I look at you and I'm saying, I wish I could have that kind of control. That it's just. I take too much risk, man. I get upset with myself a lot of times.
Like what when you have a down day, like what percent down is your portfolio on a down day?
I could be down like 20%, 30% sometimes.
On the whole portfolio.
Yeah, which is huge.
I can't do that.
In one day, that's a huge thing, man.
No, you've seen my drawdowns. My drawdowns are not.
Yeah, your drawdowns are fantastic. I mean, look, that means I can also have like up 30% days.
Right.
I think I even saw like a 60% day once, which is
wow. Look at this CMAC. Holy crap.
I'm happy with ASTS. I actually said, you know what I did with ASTS? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to really stick to Ben's targets. He's saying 39, but also he's saying he could overshoot a bit. So I set my highest limit. So I set my limits a little higher than 39, and I'm so happy to be out. I can go into Shabbat like happy and the breed and everything.
Wow.
I was like really thinking now everything's gonna be messed up. I'm gonna lose 200K because of freaking Iran, and thank God it worked out. Wow.
I think ASTS might be done for now. I don't know. It's scary up here. I
kind of want to get back in, but now that it's new all-time highs, it's a little scary. But your 50 by end of year, I think, is very doable now. It's like not even.
Of course.
Come on. So, yeah, look at that, man.
Oh, Sinestec. That's what you're getting in.
Oh yeah. Let me see if it lets me buy.
This is ridiculous. I don't know where the volume's at. If it wants to be at 3 because the warrant holders are still kind of selling or whatever, fine. I get that. But where the hell's the volume? I don't get it.
Yeah.
176,000. It just doesn't make any sense. What are people saying in our community? Am I misinterpreting this?
No, I mean, you're 100% sorry. I just got back. I think it's just those people trying to hold it down.
Okay, finally something went through. I don't know why.
No, you got it?
I know, but it's very little. Something. I'm using Chase mainly now. And
how do you like Chase? Do you like it?
Look, it's all right, but it's very basic. You can't do any after-hour trading.
Whoa.
No after-hour trade, and sometimes it's a little bit like laggish. There's a little. It's not like Webull is obviously much very superior, but that's because I spoke to Chase about it. He's like, listen, this is something we launched kind of relatively recently, and we're still like looking to add things. They didn't have options until not that long ago. So, but it's okay. I like it because it's so easy to. It's connected to your other Chase account, so you can withdraw and deposit very easily.
I think maybe I'm gonna go for some AMD calls here.
Oh wow, look at you!
I have them from yesterday. I'm down on them, so I'm thinking of averaging down on July 3rd.
Yeah, this is always a hard time for me. When you have a big win, you kind of want to say, "Come on, I want the next win right now."
Yeah.
And really, what I should do is wait, because Monday I'm not going to be available. So I should really not. SNES, I feel comfortable with, but to get calls for next week, for me at least, is a little. I feel like I shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see if I can buy more SNES.
Look, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a day at this point. I'm not saying it's a day trade because the volume.
Yeah, no. This is actually something I want to pick up for.
Yeah, this is like a long term.
Yeah.
This is an inflection point for a long term investment at this point.
Okay, I added another. I don't know why it's only letting me add 1,000, 1,500 shares at a time. I don't know why.
Fidelity has the same restriction on this stuff.
Yeah, 1,500 is the most. Okay, so what did I get? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You have a lot of this stuff in your retirement account and your trade account, or just retirement account?
Both. I'll tell you the allocations in a second here. In my trade account, whoa, I actually added a lot this morning because I thought there was a chance it would explode this morning. So I'm up to almost a 9% position in my trade account.
Oh, that's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh wow, so you're learning from me. Now you understand 9% is big.
Yeah.
You would have
I'm looking in your eyes,
Right, in my eyes, yeah.
It's pretty big.
In my retirement account, it's like a 1.5% position.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, I picked up what did I pick up? Not enough still. I got only 5,000 shares. I was trying to put an order in for 25,000 shares. But it's whatever. Keep adding, I guess.
I'm a little bit surprised that. Hold on, let me see what the headline looks like on Benzinga. Baltimore expands use following successful pilot. Now, Rhett, look at that PR. You there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get these freaking ads working. Of course, the guy we have is in California, so he's like, I don't even think he's at the office yet.
But look at this. Baltimore expands use, right, following successful pilot. That's the title. I didn't even see it at first. You open the press release, and above, where it says let me show it. Here, let me show it to you. Let me share my screen so you can see this. Okay,
I know. I see it.
I did not see this
morning
because my eyes always jump to here, the date, and I don't know what's the price. Yeah, the location date. To me, that's the beginning of the PR. When do you ever see something above it like that, right? So I didn't even see it. I read this whole press release. I scroll back to the top. I'm like, what? Full-scale implementation expected? That's the second time they screwed up their PR.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been Baltimore expected to expand to full-scale implementation following successful pilot. That's what it should have said. I mean, this is still a good headline, but that would have been much better. And that's after the other day where they hid that this is the largest order in company history. They put that in the last line of the press release and nowhere else. Oh my God. It's like these guys don't want their stock to go up. It's like they're being modest. It's like, that's it. They're being modest. No, really. They're being modest. They're afraid. They're afraid of success. We're just little covered. I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. But this is ridiculous. Only up 7% on inflection point news like this on a $5 million market cap. Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys, because I have a pounding headache. I have a sinus infection, and I'm not making money. I got to figure this out.
See ya.
Thanks for topping on,
guys.
Missy.
Yeah,
I'm really appreciative, Ben, to all that you do. I'm telling you, it changes lives, like really changes lives.
My life next, hopefully.
Please God, I'll try it once the breed is done, things calm down. I'll really try and step up in terms of collaboration. And look, I'll do my best. I also make a lot of mistakes, but I'll try my best to give you nudges where I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Congrats.
Thanks, Brad. See you.
All right.
Yeah, of course. Take care. See ya. Congrats. All right. Take care, everyone. I'm going to end the stream now.